Welcome to I'm Woke. Satnam, Namaste. I am your host, Emelina. And today I'm going to take you guys through an energy update for the week. Got a little behind this week, so I'm just catching it up now. That's also going to be a message for you guys. If you feel like you're catching up, that's okay. It's okay to be human. It's okay to rearrange as you're moving fluidly through your life. God will catch it up all. Well, oh my gosh, my words are ahead of me. God will catch it all up for you because Source cares quite a lot about you, what you do, how you feel, who you're with, and what you're given, right? Okay, so hello, welcome. If you're new to my world, my name is Emelina Calder. I am a cosmic shaman, an Akashic records reader and practitioner and teacher, a psychic coach, mentor, spiritual mentor. If you're new to my world and my channel, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any energy updates. I see you guys in the comments. Hi, love. Yes, I did my hair. It took me a minute, but it's back. She's back. You know what's funny too is when I did my hair, this woman was like, you know, I don't know you. She was like, so it's weird to say this, but she was like, I feel like you're who you are now. I feel like you were missing a part of yourself. And I was like, yeah, the hair's back. Hi, love. Thank you. Yes, happy to have you live. Happy to have those of you that catch up afterwards. Okay, so let me run through real quick. What else do I have? If you are new to my world and you haven't seen my free Akashic Records training, it's a series of 8 videos and masterclasses that I really think you're going to love on tapping into understanding, intuiting, and starting to work within your own Akashic Records, which are your soul blueprint. It's your ability to rewrite your karma, essentially, to learn with speed and accuracy so that you can become all that you were always meant to become and embody. So I'll leave a link in the description for you guys below for that. Also, we just got it out. Okay, so this is my prototype for the Sacred Prayers Oracle deck that you guys know if you've been following me that I have been working on, that I will get out to you shortly. To be able to jump on the wait list and do a pre-launch. If you're interested in that, jump on the wait list below. There's gonna be a lot of magic when I launch. I'm gonna give you guys some really special bonuses and offers. What else do I have to say? I'm also opening up my books and my reservations for Akashic Record sessions. My guides made it very clear to me. I don't usually work with a lot of people at one time because it's a lot of energy for me to hold space for. But literally, we're in breakthrough mode and there's a lot of light workers. A lot of you guys are ascending quickly and need to release the baggage of whatever's been holding you back in those karmic circumstances, karmic understandings of being human. Connect with your soul, and I have the abilities to walk you through that connection in a very bespoke process so that you can step into your highest potential and your highest timelines. These are incredible sessions. Like, I promise you a breakthrough in 2 hours or less. Like, I'm always shocked. I'm not shocked because I know what I do, but I'm also always shocked at how people move with, like, they change their lives immediately for the better. Like, it's really, really incredible. If you're guided to that, send me an email. I left my email in the description below. It is wearewokeaf@gmail.com. Okay, I think that's what I've got there. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee, pull a couple of these sacred prayers, and then we're gonna go into a channel. I don't know what they want me to channel yet, so let me just, right now, I'm gonna tap in the Akashic Records of the collective of lightworkers. They said speed and accuracy. They've been saying that to me all morning. Okay, I pray to be glue for that which is meant for me. We're just gonna run through some prayers. So the first thing you're gonna do is pray to be glue for what is meant for you. Sometimes we get into sticky circumstances or karmic circumstances where other people's projections, thoughts, feelings, needs, realities get projected on us, and then we can think that they are our own when in truth, they are not. So when you say this prayer, it releases anything that's not yours and allows you to step into your divine inheritance. That's like the cosmic way I would say it, which is like the circumstances that are meant for you, the people, the relationships, the wealth, the support, the family that is meant for you, soul connections that are meant for you. So pray to be glue for that which is meant for you, and you dissolve anything that's not. What else we got, Spirit? Channel it through. And if you guys like this deck, sign up for the wait list. I pray to feel good and trust the good feeling. All right. My guides have been streaming through me for days now. The difference between being careful and careless at this ascension practice. I don't know if this will be for everyone, but this is literally what's been coming through. Being like full of care, caring too much. This is a very feminine trait. And then there's like the opposite, which is like being careless, which is not necessarily caring, but it kind of is not caring. It's like being carefree. So something that you can meditate on this week is being in the space of careful versus careless, and not being careless to a fault, and not being so in careful that you think you have to carry everything yourself without God. And sit in the idea of being carefree. If I'm carefree, then what care can be brought to me? How can I receive what was always meant for me without struggling, without striving, without compromising? I pray to bless my success. I mean, honestly, everything is success. Like, I don't know that anything's not success. It's just being able to see the success in everything that you live and breathe and be, so that you can pull out the best of your experience and your ability to perceive the best of what's around you. I pray to make art from my heart and alchemize it into heart. So this is telling me that you guys have some pain coming up this week. Probably some pain that's more resonant from past wounding that comes up to the surface. And if you find any way to make art, which can be a physical process, it could be like an emotional process, it could be co-regulation, it could be literally making art, it can be having conversations with people you love and adore, and allowing the pain of your past to make way for the gain, the success, and the prosperity of your future without attachment to what that might look like. The process is very messy. I think where we get stuck in manifesting is we assume that, like, if there's a mess, we're not doing it right. Or if there's a mess, I must have not manifested correctly. And what it really is that the mess is all of the previous ideas, which are like karma, right? Like the previous ideas you've been holding on to that don't align with the truth of who you are, which is the version of yourself you prefer to be, the version of yourself and the identity that has the life that you want, that is living the life that you want. And I know I've said this in a recent previous stream, but if you want something new, if you are actively manifesting something new, you have to become someone new to receive it. And when we ask for new things, when we are manifesting, when we're receiving, we're asking to receive from the universe, we're asking to be changed. So when the change comes, a lot of us will either like pitch a fit, throw a fight, think it's a nightmare, and really it's about relaxing into realizing that that's the clearing so that you can have what you want. Because in the act of the clearing, you're being made into the new person that is to receive the blessings on the other side. So long as you have trust through your walk, through not knowing what's going to happen, through embracing that whatever's going to happen is going to be great and good for you and magical, and releasing the fear of the unknown and the fear that you can't have your needs met. That's what I've got there. Okay. I'm going to tap into the law of one and just ask them what they want to stream through for this week. You guys are on fire, by the way. There's just like, I also feel like a real steady calm, which is just like so nice. So it's like there's a lot of momentum moving around us. A lot of things are being rearranged and changed. There are new karmic contracts, well, I guess everything's kind of karmic, but it's like new soul contracts. A lot of you are renegotiating your soul contracts. I've had some sessions recently where like literally we're doing big soulmate clearing, like things that we've been hanging on to are being released to make room for the growth that you've had that you may not have identified yet in this life. Everything you've done up until now has led to this moment where you're now shifting into your new identity, into your new ascension practice, which honestly, my prayer for you guys is that ascension practice is some level of euphoria and bliss and paradise. And learning to allow that in without compromising who you are, without compromising your boundaries, and realizing that you are truly, my guides have been saying this so endlessly, you are truly perfect as you are. And the more you identify, relax into, and understand the self-acceptance of being perfect as you are, the easier it is for Source to bring you the circumstances that you've been asking for. It comes from a state of presence, self-acceptance. They're saying self-preservation to me. Understanding when to give and when to receive, understanding when to hold back, understanding where your resources are. And it's like this balance of light and dark, or this balance between giving and receiving, this balance of providing and being provided for. And if you can sit in the balance and hold both realities at one time, Source can meet you in both. It's like when you, actually, I'm just going to re-tap it. I'm like, I think that message actually is pretty complete. Okay, give me 1 sec, you guys. 1 sec. I'm going to breathe it in. They're saying that the theme of this week is to pray to be made, which I'll explain, and I'm going to ask them if they want to stream anything else there. Pray to be made in a safe and happy way. Pray for the circumstances that would allow you to make the decisions to open up and lead with your heart and your best, most aligned, highest states of awareness within your higher self to be revealed to you. That can look like conflict. That can look like disagreement. That can look like circumstances that don't look like they're going your way. That can look like a mess. And when they say to me, and they say this prayer to me every day, so I do recommend it, I pray to be made in a safe and happy way. You're praying to be able to make decisions to turn away from what is no longer of service to you and for you. And in the act of turning away, you're also turning towards the circumstances, the realities, and the decision that is for you. And they're reminding me the act of choosing and the act of choice. And I know they've streamed this through in a previous stream. I don't remember which one, otherwise I would tag it. But the act of choice is like if you are given a dream for yourself and you don't choose it, you don't choose to anchor it into this reality, you choose its opposite. And that's like a difficult thing that I feel like we as humans think, is we think, oh, dreams are just luxuries that we like leave up in the ether and they're there on my time when I want them. And that's not quite how it works. Especially, it depends on how much momentum you have sent up into the dream space, into the energetic quantum field, we'll say, because it is the quantum field. Whenever you have a dream and you're thinking and dreaming about something that you want, you're sending energy to that thing. And now that I'm saying this, rewatch, you guys, I think it's my last video that I posted, rewatch that because I go into this. When you're sending energy to that dream over and over and over again, and if it's a big dream and it's really on your heart and you haven't tapped into it, it's growing with a lot of speed and momentum. And then when we don't choose to find ways, of course, Source is patient with us as well, for those of you that need to hear that. But if we don't choose to find ways to anchor that dream into reality in some level of an action-based, practical way, backed with pure heart intention, we then choose to be passive. And what it is to choose to be passive is to choose the dark opposite. And I don't want to bring fear into the equation. This is more of just like a mathematical equation energetically in the quantum for you guys to start thinking very clearly. And they're showing me they're actually providing like the veil being lifted on how you manifest through the transmission that's coming through this stream, for you to be able to see clearly that dreams are not fuzzy. It is math. Manifestation is math. And I'm literally, it's 11:11 PST time. It's math, okay? Like that is the sign if you needed the confirmation, 11:11. And when it comes down to the math and you feel the clarity, and I hope you guys are feeling this because they're showing it to me like really clearly. Like there's this clearing of a cloud in the mind and in your energy. It's very mathematical, meaning it is an equation, meaning it is cut and dry. So it's either yes or no. It's either I'm available for this or I'm not available for this. There is no in between. When we compromise in that in between space by being passive, by waiting for the circumstances to improve, to claim what we want in one way or another, we say we're not available. Like, can you hear the signs, you guys? We say we're not available for the manifestation. And don't take this as an excuse to sit back and be like, I'm not manifesting right. Oh my God, I have to clear my energy and I have to get into alignment. Like, enough. Source is so easy about how you manifest. It's, yes, you can do your visualizations. Yes, you can chant your mantras. These are all wonderful things. But what Source has taught me over and over and over again, and what they're streaming through my consciousness to you guys right now, is the clarity comes from action. The clarity comes from doing what you say you're going to do. The clarity comes from choosing. And you can't choose without action. Source isn't just listening to your thoughts. Source is listening to the energy that you alchemize and create on the daily basis based in your action. Now, that doesn't mean to run and act and neglect yourself. It's none of that. There's a balance here, right? We're constantly riding this line in the balance between these different aspects of the 5D and the 3D, or the manifestations, thinking, feeling, believing, dreaming, and then acting in alignment with getting them into some sort of a concrete reality here in the 3D. And I think that, you know what they're streaming through me is they're like, just speak from the experience. It's like a lot of us, a lot of spiritual practitioners, a lot of us that are very intuitive, psychic, familiar with the divine in any way, we tend to think that the action has to either be drastic and big, which it does when you wait too long, I'll say that much. Or we think that we just have to continue to sit back and wait and like Source will just like do it. And that's also way too passive. Like that's not a thing. I don't know, like obviously, and I want to like, my preface for all of these streams are like, take what you love, leave the rest. Always trust yourself over a YouTuber, like over a live stream. Yes, I'm a channel, but trust yourself the most, okay? But it's really about understanding that this is math and that Source wants you to show yourself through micro actions that build confidence in your ability to know that you are creating progress and working towards what you want. Of course, when you do that, Source speeds up the whole process and Source will bring it right to your door, but you have to be willing to take the micro steps. And I'm saying this because a lot of us sit back in the space of thinking like, I'll just receive more, I'll be in my feminine more. A lot of this is for women, but like, you know, I'll sit back more. It'll come. Like, yes, it will, but it's a slow process. It's a slow process. It's a lot easier to get into alignment with yourself, which really is just feeling good. What was the card? I pray to feel good and trust the good feeling. You know, pray to be a little more carefree and give the cares up to God, give the burdens up to Source, because it's not up to you to plan what's gonna happen when. That's up to Source. It's up to you to step into your alignment and say, I'm willing to trust what I can't see. I'm willing to feel good. I'm willing to trust myself and what's right in every moment and know that what you're feeling is your intuition. Your emotions are speaking to you all the time. Those of you that are intuitive, when you feel something, it's because you're getting an energetic download that's coming through the emotional body, and you have to trust what that feeling is and then take action based on where you feel in that moment. Now, if you're feeling, they're asking me to give some examples. If you're feeling grief, that might mean that the aligned action at that moment is like taking a nap, or not making a call, or maybe it is making a call. It's going to be different. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. But like in that moment, let's say you're feeling angst. Well, what's an easy way of expressing that angst? Can you find an easy way of communicating to yourself and others what your needs are? Without blowing something up is what's coming through. But it's like, and then there's also the alignment of the joy, which is like, how many of us receive insight on like, wow, this would feel really good if only I could do that right now. and then we go, oh, I have to do this instead. And like, that's another thing. It's like, when it comes through, do it. Trust it. And it requires the most amount of trust. If I can be honest, my word for the year this year, my intention was trust. And I tell you, I'm being schooled on it. And it's like, when you feel good and you trust in the thing that feels good and you go do it and you take an action, a micro action, a big action, whatever it is, that requires so much trust from yourself to think, wow, I'm worthy of doing what I want to do. Like, I'm worthy of feeling good. Whether it's right now, whether, it's whatever you need to do, whether it's like a momentary feel good or whether it's like taking the day off or whatever it's going to be for you. And it's like that, what I've noticed is that space requires the most amount of trust to assume that God actually wants you to feel good. To assume that when you feel good, you're making the right decisions, because it won't always look like you're making the right decisions. If I'm going to be honest, because we're always being tested on our faith of whether or not we believe in our inherent right to choose well, to trust our choices, allow those choices to unfold, and trust that it's going to look good. It might not look good in the process, I'm not going to lie. It might look like a hot mess. But like, trust that it will turn out in the way that you are looking for, because you are being made in the process. You are given the opportunity to choose well and choose rightly based on who you wish to become, which ultimately for all of you is going to be some version of your highest self, right? Which is really the version of you that feels good. The version of you that gets to receive, the version of you that feels safe, the version of you that feels, I dare say it, happy being human. I know all of us struggle with that. The most spiritual of us are like, I'm always just like, what'd you send me down here for? What is this? Like, being human is very, very hard. Oh, I'm happy I'm speaking to you guys. Thank you guys. Oh, I'm happy you're all here. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee and I'll jump back into my stream here. But it's like, it requires a lot of trust to dream, to receive the dreams, which are impulses, inspired actions, insights, ideas, conversations, things to say. Things to say is important. That one's been streamed through a lot for me. Is that I used to say what people needed to hear. I'm a Libra, I'm very diplomatic. And my guides have been throwing me through the ringer, training me to say what's on my heart, because what's on my heart is what needs to be said for the energy in the room to alchemize, to move, to become something new. A lot of you, what they're telling me is, we'll need to hear this. When you speak your truth, you're changing the people around you. And a lot of us are scared at our ability and power to change. Like, not just be changed. It's one thing to be changed. Again, we're walking this like line of balance between light and dark, or just between ideas, between paradoxes, right? To change or be changed. When you're asking for something new and you want a new manifestation, a new love, a new career, new financial opportunities, new family, like, you are asking to become new, which you're embracing a new identity. You're asking to be changed. You're saying, you're sending a prayer up to the universe and saying, universe, change me. Now, how we get changed, like, give it up. That trust is real. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten really good at being changed, so I don't mind as much now, but you can't like dig your heels in energetically, stay the same, and receive what you want. Those things don't happen. You have to change. To change is to release. It is to embrace. It is to trust. Now, on the flip side, the other paradox is that when you step into your power and your authenticity and the love for yourself and your heart, like trusting your heart's desires, you become the change. So when you speak your truth in a way that is authentic to you, and your soul and in your heart, again, grounding everything in your heart, breathing from your heart, speaking from your heart, you change the people around you. And I know they're telling me to tell, like literally when I started this work publicly, because I was in digital marketing for well over a decade before I switched over to this career, which Spirit made me do, by the way. Like that Spirit was like, you cannot sit back anymore. You've done way too much healing. You gotta step in and allow people to be changed by you, in front of you, with your energy. And that was a very, very challenging experience for me, to watch people change in front of me. And I know you guys are going to relate to this. That's why they're streaming it through. You have to also be willing to be the change for someone else, to watch them either rise or fall in front of you, and to allow that change to be made without taking ownership over the change. Because the change is just the alchemy of energetics, like math, between you and other humans, or you and other circumstances, which always comes back to relationship. It's always going to come back to humans. And then as you change people, there's no control, there's no manipulation, there's no care like in it. There's no like, I want to change that. There's none of that. It's literally just like the magic. Gosh, I know a lot of you need to hear this, because I'm like, why are you having me say this? I don't even need to embrace this right now. And they're like, because they need to hear it. So it's like the magic of allowing people to transform and change who they are in front of you, because Source wanted them to, because your energy interacted in such a way where they were transformed in front of you in whatever way they were transformed. And that is not for you to judge in whatever way at all. Like, there is absolutely no judgment, and there's no claim over the change. It's literally just being a witness and watching how, when you are authentic in your pillar of self-support, in your pillar of support from Source, there's little caveats coming in. I'm just trying to navigate which one I want to jump on. When you embrace that, you watch people change in front of you, because Source needed to make an adjustment within the energies. We're in a holographic simulated universal reality. And whenever we shift how we show up, and when we show up in our, it's really authenticity, our real authentic states of awareness without judgment for ourselves, we become a mirror where whoever or whatever we're interacting with then sees their own reflection. And in that reflection, sometimes people are pleased, right? Sometimes they're like, oh, I like myself. Other times they're like, oh, that's nasty. Get that shit away from, I'm not like that. Like, how dare you? Like, you know, it's like allowing people to see themselves through you. The more clear you get with your own energy, the more channel of Source you hold within yourself, your divine feminine or divine masculine nature, the clearer of a mirror you become for everyone around you. And the more people that you're around like that as well, are clear mirrors, and they reflect you back to you as well. And you know what I found through the ascension journey is that people don't like mirrors very much. Like, because they reflect you back to you. So what happens is people try to stay in more karmic relationships across the board, because karmic relationships are predictable. They follow cycles and patterns. They're easy to know, like, kind of what's going to happen, to forecast, for you to feel familiar because you know how to handle a situation like this. The second you start going into more divine territory and soulmate bonds, I'm not going to beat around with that. Soul family, the reflections get really clear. And I'll say the caveat that's coming through it. Like, a lot of people don't have a lot of soulmates around them, not because they're not worthy of soul connections. And we have many. We have a lot of soul support here on Earth. But it's because they don't like seeing the parts of themselves that they're not ready to reconcile within themselves. Soulmates, the family bonds, are similar to human family bonds. There's like a lineage, there's a DNA, there's a likeness, there are bloodlines. And when we meet other soul family members, they are very clear reflections for all of us, our light and our dark, what we have accepted about who we are and what we have kept in the shadows and dismissed out of our energy fields so that we could continue living thinking that that's not us, or whatever it is, whatever you've cast out into the shadow, and displaced your power. When you get in front of soulmates that are doing their work, like, it's just a constant state of reflection, which is to be in a constant state of being changed and changing others around you. And what I will say, at this point, I'm very fluid with soul relationships, is that it's a really, really beautiful and fun process, but you have to be okay with being changed in an instant. Like self-alchemy, alchemy between you and the other person. It's like rapid, sudden awakenings. And I have very dear friends that do this to me too, in a more gentle process, because each soul contract or soul bond is a little bit different. We have like different ideas before we come into this life on what the contract is going to be, which are like just the agreements on how you're going to act with each other, how you're going to tease the best or the worst out of each other. And the worst, I say gently, because it is a family bond, and soul family is just moving some things around because they love you at their core. And how that's expressed, you know, like how, I don't know, how a good mom would love you or what have you. But of course, they're always also very mixed too, because like any level of family, as you guys know, we don't get along with all of our family. So, you know, it depends on the relationship and the contract. Now, I'm going to ask them why they're taking me here. I think it's really just to share with you that if you want deeper, oh, here we go. If you want deeper connections, if you want more soul family relationships in your life, you have to accept that paradox of change or be changed. It's always going to be that way. You have to accept the paradox of constantly seeing a reflection of who you are and who you're not in front of yourself, and being able to quickly digest and reconcile what that means to you in any moment without getting too overwhelmed in the process. Some soul connections are very, very overwhelming because the reflections go very deep, either in the light, like reflecting your potential back to you, which can be scary for a lot of people, or reflecting your shadows, the dark, all the shit you've kept hidden in your subconscious mind, the things you don't know about yourself, how people like emotionally manipulate others or try to manipulate circumstances. And we certainly don't ever want to see that shit either. You know, it's all like a process of self-discovery. The way that I've done this work that's helpful for me, I surround myself with soul bonds because I like to be held accountable to seeing who I am and changing quickly. I like that. That's just who I am. And the reason why they're bringing this through is because a lot of you are stuck. Oh, I get it. Okay. A lot of you are stuck in the idea of thinking you're alone, or the idea that you can't have people meet you in the depth of who you are. And they're asking me to rearrange your ideas of soul contracts and agreements or soulmates, and to remind you that, oh, come back, you guys. Hold on. The thought just left. To remind you that if you want to go deep, you have to be willing to see yourself. And if you don't like what you see, then you're going to reject yourself, which is to reject the other person. If you like what you see, then you'll likely accept them. But it's this constant paradox of, do you like it or do you not like it? And what do you do if you like it? And what do you do if you don't like it? Are you going to stay? Or are you going to walk away? Are you going to play? Or are you going to be safe? Are you going to like it? There's a constant play with spirit and a constant like reconciliation of the self and who you're becoming. Soulmates will trigger you, whether romantic or platonic. They will show you who you are. And again, I'm really reaching less romantic, like one and only. And I'm really going into just like soul ties, soul bonds, relationships with people that have a likeness in your own spiritual and energetic frequency, your soul frequency, your vibration, your expression, and how their energy interacts with yours. And they're telling me, I've met so many people in the last couple of weeks that have said to me, this is why I've had a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, like this is such a deep connection. Like I've never felt this before. There must only be a couple. You probably don't have many of these, right? And I'm like, no, I've got a lot. I have a lot of very deep soul connections. I allow them into my life. I allow myself to be seen. I allow people to be who they are. And I'm not afraid of the mirrors. And that's what they're telling me is if you want to feel less lonely in your ascension practice, in your spiritual practice, and you want more friendships, and I would start at the friendship level in general, you want more people in likeness around you that you can feel that depth of a soul connection, a spiritual connection, also at the human level, then you have to be in drastic acceptance that they're gonna feel triggering. B, they're gonna go to the depth of who you are as a human, which is to also go to the depth of your wounding. We've all got them. And depending on the soul and the person and the contract will depend on how much of that wounding is triggered and comes up to the surface. And it's not a dysfunction per se. Those wounds are triggered for us to get really in the depths of who we are and our character and to decide what it gets to mean for us, to decide who we want to be, to set clear and decisive boundaries, to very easily speak our needs in any moment, and to hold a really clear container and space for other people to also do those things around us, so that we're not saying, well, I can do this, but you can't. like I can change, but how dare you change? Like, it's a very fluid process. And they're telling me this because there's this idea in this collective space that soul bonds are like a fantasy, like they're perfect, like they're not triggering, or they're smooth, or there are lots of different types of love, you guys. Not all love is smooth, and it doesn't make it any less loving. It's like, it's being able to, they're showing me being able to acknowledge the depth of a soul connection, dip your toe in with whoever that person or relationship is, and bite off what you can chew and ask yourself, do I want more, or is this enough for me right now? Because soul connections are deep. If you want more of these friendships that are soul family based, allow yourself to take a little chunk at a time rather than diving into the whole relationship. Again, this is platonic or romantic, but I'm really seeing it strongly with friendship. Some of the women in the stream that will see or hear this can be other women, okay? So like if you go into a friendship, because women bond emotionally first. So if there's a spiritual bond between two women, and then there's an emotional connection, women like jump right in, and then all of a sudden it's like a very obsessive emotional bond, and even with soul ties with women, like soul friendships, those can become very like volatile. It's almost like pacing yourself, like pace yourself in these relationships, call them in, be an acknowledgement that they are mirrors, which means you will be changed in the process. So accept that. That trigger can be, again, towards your light or showing you your dark. It depends. It depends. And many people hold many spaces, right? Gosh, I didn't expect to run a relationship session right now, but I'm like, well, I really am a pro at this work. You know, even the soul connections that I have that are like deep soul family bonds, deep friendships, even within them, we're all at good points at this point, but there's always like, there's a give and take, there's compromise, there's understanding people where they're coming from, there's being able to speak and express your needs, there's being able to receive people's needs, you know, there's a give and take with any level of relationship. Soulmate relationships aren't any different. And it's being able to like get in sync with someone and their energy, and then understand what you each desire, what you each can handle, what you each need, and how those needs can be provided. And that can be, it can be an easy process. It can be a hard process. I'm literally thinking through my different like soul connections. I'm like, wow, gosh, it's been all over the place. I don't deny any of them. Like literally, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's what this one is. Like, okay, that's what this one is. Like, all right, we'll move through it. Oh, this one's a little more challenging. All right, like we'll work through that. And coming out always from the space, I'm like, let me think about me, how I'm always coming out. It's always from the space of me learning how to work with those wounding patterns and how to either ask for more support, speak more clearly, get really good at identifying my needs, allowing the other people to have their needs met as well, which might mean space. It might mean parting ways. It might mean deeper connection. All the things are on the table. And I'm just going to ask them really quickly why they're bringing me into these like subtle dynamics of these relationships. They've been coming in a lot on my sessions, you guys. Most of the things that are blocking our manifestations or what we want or who we're looking to become are like unresolved resentments, unresolved relationships, unresolved emotional energy. And I'm being led to tell you guys, those of you that are working through financial things or want to expand your finances or you're having financial blockages, that tends to be very related with your emotional energy, because your emotional energy is is connected to your ability to create. Your ability to create is your ability to see what you want and then claim it. So if your emotions are really tied up in a relationship or in resentments or in control or in manipulation, if you can release the emotional knot, emotional cloud, maybe, in the heart, you'll be able to see more clearly and open up to see what it is that you actually need, how you need it, how you need to go about it, how you need to engage in taking action towards it. Do I need to tell you guys how? They're like, no, they don't need to know how. They just need to know that that's like the clearing methodology. Some of those things are spiritual as well. Anyway, we'll get to it in another stream. But all right, let me just check back in. Where do you guys want me to go? What do you want me to say? They said, it's complete. I have satiated the need. What they said to me this morning as well is release the need to know, step into the flow. The flow of life is governed by the law of one. It's the law of like, it's kind of like how you breathe or like the blood pumping through your body. Like it's very automatic. You're not thinking about it. The law of oneness that governs the universe in the flow of life is constantly rearranging and moving, just like our bloodstream, just like our breathing, just like our immune system. So if you can relax the mind's need to know the outcome or what's going to happen and how, and reverse engineering that and trying to understand that, and if you can just get present, do what you want to do what you need to do, tap into your inner states of joy, your inner states of intuition. Again, always coming back into the heart space, because the law of one flows through the heart space. Your ability to know clearly what you need to do, who you need to become, whether or not you need to relax or move or take action, that coming from the heart space is you being in the flow of life, which is a very automatic, impulsive adjustment process where you will naturally bump into the right people, go to the right places, get on the right transportation. Like it'll just click right into place without any level of pre-planning. And it's really, really magical. So trust that heart space, let go of the need to know from the mind and step into the knowing of the heart, which is to trust the moment to moment process, to trust the impulses from the heart. Again, it does take a lot of trust because we're taught in society to not trust our desires. So as you start trusting your desires, you're going to be tested by yourself, by your ego, right? So that's where that is. I think I'm going to end there and pull a couple more prayer cards and maybe, oh, this is pulling me. I'll pull this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sending you all so much love. Hey, hey! I'm seeing all your comments. Spirit, what do we most need to know right now? Oh, they're saying I'm done. Oh, wait, but I want to pull prayer card then. That one. Okay. I pray to thrive. Thrive. Be alive. Be your best self. Step into your glow. Don't dim that shine for anyone. That's what I got. Alrighty, if you guys loved this, I'd love to invite you to work with me in the number of ways that I like to work with people. But right now, I'm helping as many of you as I can bust through some breakthrough sessions. So if you want an Akashic Records reading with me, where I go into your Akashic Records, I help read your soul blueprint. We look through whatever is going on for you, whether it is love, soulmate, relationship, career, money, status, fame, whatever you want, okay? Self-acceptance, your own spirituality, your life purpose. Flag me down because we're gonna work it through. My sessions are 90 minutes to 2 hours. We do a lot in that time period. I'm a very integrated practitioner. I speak to both the human level and the galactic divine level in a way that is very clear and easy to read and understand from me. Most of you get homework from me. Sometimes they stream through meditations. I did a big clearing recently for someone. It's just like so beautiful. They are energetic activations, they are energetic clearings, and they are psychic intuitive readings. If you need any of that, send me an email. I got you guys on the books for the next couple weeks. I'm sending you so much love. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like the video. What else? Comment below. Oh my gosh, let me know in the comments, you guys, what resonated or any questions you have. As I get a little bit more time, I'd love to spin out some more videos for you because y'all know I love doing them. So that's what I got there. So much love. If you haven't seen the free Akashic Records training, get on that. IMEmmelina.com/training, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, lots of love. Bye.